What's up, everybody? Here for the WCW side of the Monday Night Wars. Week 42, July 22nd, 1996. This is the 45th episode of Nitro, but the 42nd week they go at it head-to-head in the Monday Night Wars. Nitro beats Raw for the 6th week in a row with a rating of 2.6 to 2.2. So through 42 weeks, Nitro has 23 wins, WWF has 17 wins, and 2 draws. And at one point, these two companies were tied in wins. But now it's Nitro with 23, WWF with 17. This is the Nitro with a 2.6 rating. Both shows kind of went down this week, 2.6 to 2.2. Usually Nitro's in the 3s, mid-3s. WWF's in the mid-2s. They both got mid to low 2s in this one. Just an off week. It was the middle of summer. What do you do? Nitro begins with Pyro at a daytime Disney MGMStudios from Orlando, Florida. For the first hour, it's the living legend Larry Sabisco with Tony Schiavone. The second hour will be Bobby the Brain Heenan and Eric Bischoff. They talk more about last week's Hogan's disgusting remarks about the NWO. The show begins with a daytime promo shot of the MGMStudios with the WCW letters that were last week covered with NWO. Square David Taylor, that's what his name is, Square. I don't know how to pronounce that or even what it means, but it's Squire. Square David Taylor with Jeeves takes on Scott Norton to begin, and USA chants rain down for the crowd as Taylor runs into a shoulder tackle by Norton, who's much bigger. David Taylor with European uppercuts then runs into the brick wall in the form of the much more powerful Scott Norton. David Taylor thrown inside the ring from the outside apron with a hip toss. Norton misses a charge in the corner, and David Taylor landed a shot but eventually got taken to the floor. Norton runs into the post. Taylor beats Norton by DQ at 1:45 after he beat the hell out of David Taylor and threw him over the top rope. So Taylor was disqualified for throwing him over the top rope to the floor. You don't see that very often in wrestling. I remember in Savage Steamboat at WrestleMania 3, Jesse Ventura said, disqualify him when he threw him over the top rope, but it never happened. So that was just a half a star. The Horsemen cut a basic promo here, sitting at a table with fruit and beautiful ladies, just sitting near ringside. Conan versus VK Wall Street. VK Wall Street and Conan tie up. An armbar, and now Conan into the corner in a sleeper. A jawbreaker and Conan with an armbar sitting down on the mat. A standing armbar. VK Wall Street throws him out of the ring in a slap before tossing Conan headfirst into the steps. Back in the ring, Conan gets a kick and an uppercut. Conan's leg grounding on the mat, getting Irwin chances from the crowd for Irwin R. Shyster, the character VK Wall Street used to portray. That's how fans know him, under the IRS name. Conan with a running lariat, then a leapfrog, and a back kick facebuster by Conan. So agile, but VK Wall Street hit him with a stock market crash, but Conan rolled him up with a backslide right after. Conan defeated VK Wall Street after he maintained leverage in the right place at the right time. I gave the match 2 stars. Luger, Savage, and Sting come out to cut promos with Mean Gene Okerlund at the front stage about the NWO, because they're back on the show, all 3 of them. They weren't last week, but now they were all in Japan last week. Luger says Flair's probably in a catered hotel room with getting catering, but he wants to make a statement. We want the Horsemen, but to make a strong statement about the NWO too. It's time for action, Sting says. And then Savage says, I want Flair, Hogan, Outsiders, all of them in one night. Do it. Mean Gene says, we got more Monday Nitro to lock it in. Another Glacier vignette airs, this time showing the actual person behind the Glacier, not just glaciers and techno stuff. They actually show the guy. Alex Wright, Jim Powers, Joe Gomez, and Renegade against the Dungeon of Doom. Hugh Morris, Kevin Sullivan, the Barbarian, and Braun the Leprechaun. Yeah, they had this guy, Braun the Leprechaun, run around the ring, and that got more airtime than this match did because the NWO cut this match off. Hugh Morris, they cut off from the production area. The NWO are taking over, and that's the message. They went to the control room for the truck. It's Hall and Nash. This match was completely cut off by the NWO. They get the director's mic. They say ground control to Major Tom. That's what Kevin Nash says when he grabs the director's headset. Ground control to Major Tom. And he says, he says, "Everybody come back to my trailer for pot pies and Mountain Dew." And then they also quoted other songs and all the kinds of stuff on the director's headset. They said, "Show me the crowd, show me the crowd." So the camera zoomed in on the crowd, basically just taking over the director's work in the trailer. In the end, at 5:29, the team of Powers, Gomez, Wright, and Renegade won. The Giant came out and chokeslammed everyone. No rating due to the interruption, obviously. I can't rate the match. It wasn't even shown. After the match, the Giant and Jimmy Hart stand in the ring. The Giant is here to answer the challenge of Hulk Hogan, or Hollywood Hogan, at Road Wild. The Giant says Hogan is trying to win an Oscar. Has he seen his movies? And the Giant says he will see him in the middle of the ring. So this was one of his 100 different face heel turns for the Big Show, the Giant, as the crowd cheer him now, as he says he's going to chokeslam Hogan in the middle of the ring. Just another turn for the Big Show Giant in his career. One of many thousand. DDP versus Prince Aoki. Prince Aoki with a crossbody to DDP, and then he hits the Diamond Cutter right away in the first minute, and is the victor. A quarter of a star. We take a look at the war between Sullivan and Benoit, a big video package. Then we got Dean Malenko versus Chavo Guerrero. This is Chavo's Nitro debut. Malenko with a knee to the gut of Chavo and firearms takeover into a gut breaker. Malenko elevated Chavo Guerrero into the air and he crashed into the canvas floor. Chavo taking a beating by Malenko, and then they tie up a knee into the abdomen, a head splash into the turnbuckle, and a beautiful side suplex. Hour number 2 begins as the pyros go off and Bischoff takes over on commentary. Malenko from the top turnbuckle is pushed off, Chavo with a sunset flip, and then Malenko with a body scissors. Malenko's leg drop into a headlock. Malenko then stands torquing the head. The man of 1,000 holds with a half crab and an abdominal stretch into a modified surfboard, and then a step over a crossface, torquing the same ankle and stretching the face of Chavo. Malenko then takes both arms and now a double chicken wing. Great match here, as Bischoff on commentary says Savage, Luger, and Sting are more motivated to fight for WCW than ever before. Malenko hits a powerbomb and then an inside cradle a couple of times by Chavo. Malenko elevates Chavo to the top apron, slams him right off the top buckle. Then he applies a Texas Cloverleaf and wins at 8:19. I rate the match 3 stars. Mang with Jimmy Hart takes on Ice Train. Jimmy Hart is everywhere. Jimmy Hart is like the Ahmed Johnson of the WCW, only a better wrestler. Bischoff puts over Ice Train huge. Mang with a chin lock to Ice Train, then a claw before an uppercut. Mang, a legit tough guy, trying to wear down Ice Train with a shoulder tackle. Ice Train with a double axe handle, but Mang wins at 6 by DQ at 6:20 win. Ice Train's former partner Scott Norton attacks Mang to make sure that Ice Train loses. Rated at 1 3/4. Eddie Guerrero takes on Psychosis. This is one of the many matches they've had. Guerrero crashes and burns in the corner. Eddie hits a shoulder block, leapfrog, arm drag takedowns, monkey flips. Psychosis lands on his feet. Psychosis with a top spinning heel kick. They had a classic at Bash at the Beach, did Ray and Psychosis. Psychosis then has a classic here with Eddie on Nitro. I rated it at 3.5 stars, as Eddie wins at 8 minutes even with a frog splash after a top rope Hurricane Rana. Lex Luger, Savage, and Sting versus the Four Horsemen. Big time main event feel. Benoit chops away at Sting, and he and McMichael double team Sting. Mongo with the neck breaker. Benoit takes Sting apart. Macho Man wants in, but Benoit chops away at him. Sting down on the mat. McMichael chops at Sting. McMichael suplex Sting. Benoit elbows at Sting as he comes in, and Luger comes in, and then Benoit and Luger go at it. Lex takes it to Benoit with the knee lift. A hot take gave Luger all the power over the Horseman. He ran him over with clotheslines. Shoulder blocks, shoulder tackles, suplexes. Luger levels Benoit and covers him as the faces win. Macho Man gets his money back in the suitcase, as Deborah had taken the case that had his money in it, and with Liz and Flair. So Savage gets the briefcase back, hits Benoit on the head with it, and Luger pins him at 7:38. So Savage, Sting, and Luger win after Randy Savage gets his money back. Mean Gene interviews women, and Mean Gene interviews women, and she's not happy with it, as Savage gets his money back. The show ends with the interview by Mean Gene and Savage, and declares war on the NWO. So, again, the Nitro rating was 2.6 to 2.2, and I rate this 6.5 out of 10. It had decent matches and it had good outsiders in the production truck. That's this week's Nitro. We'll catch you on the next one. Thanks, everybody, for watching. I'm Brett Mix, and I'm out.